Welcome, Lipsey's Guns fans. I'm Rob Abrazino. This is Jason Klossner. I know your name. We've done this before, right?
No, I don't know you.
We have a couple very special guests. We have Adam Weather. Man, I am struggling today. We're just going to keep going. Adam Weatherby, you know the name, and Raleigh Whalen, you definitely know that name. I sure do. So, guys, welcome. I'm really glad you joined us here this afternoon, and we're going to have a little bit of fun talking about some new stuff, maybe some old stuff, maybe some adventures. So, yeah, let's get into it. Jason, what's happening? We got these great guests here.
Yeah, you know, the 307 has been out now for about a year or so, something like that.
Yeah.
And these guys came down last month, and they showed us the new 307. And it was the first, rifle I've seen in a while that I'm like, okay, that's on my list. I got to buy that one.
Yeah.
That finally got that rifle that checked all the boxes that I've been waiting for. So I'm pretty excited to talk about that one. And they had a really cool new shotgun to show us, too. So a lot of neat things coming out of Weatherby right now. They really are, I think, really have grasped what the market's asking for, and they really put it out there here lately.
Well, certainly a household name, Adam Weatherby. We'll let you kick it off on your end over there. Where do you want to start today?
Yeah, no, it's great to be on the podcast. Really appreciate it. You know, our relationship goes way back with Lipsey's. So back before my generation, obviously I'm third generation. We're in our 79th year of business.
Nice.
And Mr. Lipsey and my grandfather and then father and myself, and Lori and the whole team there in Flint, we've just been doing business together a long, long time. And so it's fun. Even when I was out there last month, just going out to dinner with you guys and, telling stories with your team. And some guys on your team remember me from 25 years ago when I was just getting started over here. So it's neat to have a couple family businesses in the outdoor industry that are partnering together to put some pretty cool stuff out there to our customers. So it's, it always starts with relationships, and relationship with Weatherby and Lipsey's goes back a long ways. And so it's great to be here on the podcast.
Well, it's certainly important to us, and appreciate your guys' time. So, Jason kind of kicked it off with the 307. If we want to kind of get into that now a little bit, love to talk about it more.
You bet. So, it's our really third centerfire rifle action where the Mark V came out in 1958. Vanguard's been around since 1971. So the 307, the Model 307 was our first action release in literally 50 years. And so it's kind of a big deal for us. It's built on the 700 platform, and so it's our take on that 700 platform, trying to make an action that has some distinguishing features, the Weatherby quality, fit and finish, but aftermarket compatibility with a lot of 700 things. And so our engineers designed it here in Sheridan, Wyoming, where we've been located now for about 6 years. So our team has done that. It is built in the U.S., largely here in Sheridan, Wyoming, and featuring a lot of top partners like Peak 44 for stocks, for instance, BSF with barrels, Trigger Tech. So you're talking a lot of kind of the really top end people in that 700, compatible space that we're able to put in there. And so it's been just we've had a great reception to it. We continue to come out with newer models. So we came out last year with our original Range XP model. And then we've done a Woodstock model now called the Adventure SD. We have the folding MDT chassis. And then one of our most recent models here that we just launched a few weeks ago is the new Alpine CT. And so we can kind of go over that. So we're really building it out about a year into it now, really putting it in a lot of different models. And we're focused on, for us, hitting a price point with those features, USA built, the Weatherby name on it. We're coming in there where we can't get with the Mark V from a price point, standpoint, because it's a little more manufacturable for us, and it's something that we can build a little bit more efficiently. And so the goal is to try to provide that end user with a lot of features with the Weatherby name, but at a price that they're going to see. Jason, I think when you saw that Alpine CT with the carbon fiber barrel, carbon fiber stock, kind of all the bells and whistles, at retail for just a little over $2,000, you're like, man, I think you're hitting the mark there, and that's what we're trying to do. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, when he showed us the gun, I'm thinking, okay, and another $3,000 rifle, it's really nice. Actually not a bad gun for that price. And he goes, oh yeah, an MSRP is just over $2,000. I'm like, oh, that's a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, it just has it all. It's got I love the stock shape on it. The recoil pad on that gun is fantastic.
Nice, yeah.
I think we stuck it on the scale. Adam, what was it, like 6 pounds, 2 ounces, something like that? I mean, it's super lightweight. I really liked it.
Yeah, the Alpine CT, and we got it in our hands here if you're watching the video portion of the podcast, but we launched it in about 12 or 13 cartridges as well in true Weatherby fashion.
Yeah.
Having it, everywhere from some of the smaller cartridges up to big Magnum cartridges. A lot of the popular ones like 7PRC, obviously that's hot right now and all those things. But we have it in the Peak 44 Bastion stock. It weighs 24 ounces. It's got kind of a vertical pistol grip, a little bit kind of longer forearm, super strong but lightweight stock. We actually include the Peak 44 J rail, pick rail on top, as well as the BSF carbon fiber barrel that we've been using. We actually designed a new brake for this gun, which is directional, so it is new, built for this gun. Custom Cerakote. It's painted here, actually in our factory. It's got our patented 3D Hex recoil pad. So it's kind of really got all the bells and whistles on it. MSRP, Raleigh, $21.99. Yeah.
And the one thing that I think excited me the most about it had a floor plate. So many of the rifles now in that genre have a detachable magazine.
Yeah, the mags.
And that's great if you're shooting NRL or PRS or all this, and even for people who like to hunt. But for me personally, I just like a floor plate gun. It's just one less thing to fool with. And I mean, I was like, literally, I told Adam, I said, if I was building a custom rifle, that gun it'd be exactly how I would expect the gun.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool. And I love that muzzle brake because it's self-timing.
Yeah.
Even though it's a side port brake now, you don't have to use crush washers and all this crazy jazz to get it set back up. They really thought of everything from the tip of the barrel to the butt pad, literally, on that rifle.
It's beautiful.
Also, Jason, one of the things that we noted is we know that a little bit of the trend and what our customers are asking for is a little shorter barrels. It's hard for us because at our roots, our DNA, the way my grandpa started this company 80 years ago was off speed, and everybody's wanting shorter barrels. Depending on the cartridge, you're often sacrificing speed. It's hard for us, but we love our customers dearly. So our average barrel length on this rifle is a couple inches shorter than we would have it in some others for those that are going to be hunting or shooting suppressed especially. So the majority of them are 22 inch. We have some down to 20 inch as well, like the Creedmoor and 308. But bulk of them are, even 300 Wind, the PRCs, 280 Ackley, all those are in 6.5 RPM are in 22 inch. Go up to 24 inch for like a 300 Weatherby, and we did put on the super long 26 inch for the 6.5 300 for the guy or gal who wants to show off at the range with the fastest thing in town. But we did shorten overall the bulk of those cartridges, 8 or more in that 22 inch realm, which we've kind of found to be a good middle ground. So we've been listening to our customers. It's hard. My grandpa would hate it because we're sacrificing speed, but you got to do one or the other. So,
It was a good balance point between keeping the velocities up there without going too short, which is kind of a trend. I'm thinking it's just like everything. Everybody's goes to one extreme and then go to the other. And I think some of the extreme we're seeing right now is uber short barrels. I'm seeing 18-inch 28 nozzlers and this kind of stuff out there. And I think that trend will probably go away and it's settling right where they're at in that 22-inch range where you can still run a suppressor on it. Because let's face it, the suppressors are getting shorter and lighter every day too. I mean, you can get a Magnum rated suppressor now that's 5.5 inches long. So it's not that big of a deal on a 22-inch barrel.
Right.
But you still keep, I would say, a very good velocity that's applicable for hunting conditions out to what any reasonable person is going to shoot at an animal anyway. So I think y'all hit it right on the money as far as the barrel lengths.
Let me ask you, Adam, you bring up an interesting point. So the DNA of the company, goes back, as you said, your grandfather, 70, almost 80 years. Where is that line in taking this company into the future of the tradition and also innovation? You've got to push. You've got to be an innovator. Everyone around you is an innovator. But the thing is, some maybe newer rifle companies, they don't have to worry about history and heritage and a grandfather, that set things in motion. So, they're less limited. So how do you kind of find that balance when it comes to these new products and development where man, I love this. This is where the market's going, and you're in business to make money, and that's part of it too. But there's also that family. There's that history, the DNA of the company. How do you navigate that?
Yeah, no, it's actually fun. At times it can be challenging because, people have expectations when there's a legacy brand that's been around a long time. So
Right.
when they hear the word Weatherby, often they think of a Mark V Deluxe, the diamond inlay, the rosewood, the maple, all those things. They think of high gloss. I think what we do, though, is we still appreciate that and we still offer that, and it's in our line. And so one of the examples, it's actually a good segue into the 307. Like, for instance, we, at the same time as launching this one that I just showed you, the Alpine CT, we did in the 307 the Adventure SD, which, look at that, if you can see on the screen or if there's pictures.
Look, the wood looks,
diamond inlay,
the wood on
rosewood
I'm sorry, the wood on like a crappy Zoom call looks awesome. I can imagine what it looks like in person. That's beautiful.
Yes.
It really is.
So it's traditional Weatherby built on the 307 action. We fluted the barrel. It's got a muzzle brake that comes on it, but we did high grade walnut, the maple, the rosewood, the grade is going to be there that people would come to appreciate about a Weatherby. Heck, it's got the red recoil pad. It's traditional. Yeah. So in the end, are we going to sell more of that carbon fiber package than the wood one? Absolutely.
Right.
But we're going to offer both to our customers to appreciate the past. And I love hunting with wood guns, but there are times where I sure as heck don't.
Right.
And so when I went to Africa, for instance, it was a kind of an ode to the past. And this year I went and took this wood model, the Adventure SD and the 307, took it to 300 Weatherby. Yep. And shot a whole bunch of plains game with it.
Right.
But I went to New Zealand a couple months after, and guess what? I was going to be packing up the steepest hills. I was in rain every day.
Yeah.
And I did not take a wood model then. And so we do still offer both and sell a surprisingly amount of wood stock guns still. It's not the highest demand, but we try to really respect the past. We understand our heritage and where we came from. Yet at the same time, my grandpa was an innovator. So for what we see for the 75-year-old Weatherby as old and classic, it was actually cutting edge and innovative when my grandpa came out with it. The rounded shoulders, the faster stuff, that Monte Carlo stock. I mean, you got to remember, he started the company in California. John Wayne, Roy Rogers, Gary Cooper coming in. It was edgy marketing and influencers, totally different. And so in the same way he innovated, I think that's what I want to do at the helm of the company almost 80 years ago.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but your dad was the first one to put a synthetic stock gun on a factory rifle in the 1980s or 90s.
1983, they did the Fiber Mark, which was a Mark V with fiberglass stock. And my dad tells the story that my grandpa was like, "Dad, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. We're never going to sell it." And Dad, let me give it a try. He gave it a try and it sold. And my grandpa said, "Well, it's not so ugly after all."
That's right. It looks like money to me. Huh? Yeah. Well, but that's the Weatherby legacy, though.
Yeah.
People think about Mark V Deluxes and they think of those old guns, but in early 1980s, nobody was thought about putting synthetic stocks on a factory rifle. Yet Weatherby was the first one to. If anybody would have said that would be the last company to do that, it would have been Weatherby probably. Yeah. And yet they shocked the world with that. So Weatherby really has a great sense of sense in the market before anybody else does. So really kudos to all the generations of Weatherby to coming out with some really cool innovative stuff.
Well, it's great that you guys respect that and it's obvious and you kind of never close the door on any of those eras or generations, which is fantastic. I think that's really cool.
Pretty interesting. It's been pretty interesting at the shows that we go to. I first started with Weatherby 6 years ago. And to see the audience that would come up to the booths that we attend, at first it was just a bunch of old guys, which love you old guys, lots of great stories.
Right.
They have a lot of memories with their Weatherbys, but it's changed so much over the past 6 years to now we still have the elderly folks, I should have called them probably.
Experienced.
We also have their grandkids and a lot of youth and young hunters between 20 and 40. We'll say 42 because I'm almost 42, but in that younger generation that's coming into hunting, or they've been hunting a while and they want to upgrade into a nicer gun. So it's been cool to see just our audience shift a little bit, or expand, I guess, if you will.
What's pretty neat about the new 307 that they just came out with too is now you can kind of have some of both. You can have all the modern features. You can have carbon fiber, you can have rails, all this stuff, and you can have it in a 257 Weatherby Magnum.
Right.
Which is pretty cool because, you know, all the different competing rifles out there that have, you know, carbon fiber barrels, carbon fiber stock, 700 style actions. Generally, you know, they're available in 300 Win Mag and your PRCs and all that stuff. But you can't get them in the Weatherby calibers.
Right,
now
right.
you can.
Yeah.
So it's funny, after you guys left, you know, a couple of us were sitting around after and talking and stuff. It's like, man, how cool would one of those rifles be like in a 240 Weatherby Magnum? Just, you know, it would just be cool because it'd be so different than anything you already have.
Yeah.
So, and to Adam's credit, man, not only did they come out with a really cool setup, they gave you every cartridge available that you can imagine.
Yeah.
So it's a way to get out there and do something kind of traditional and old school with speed and power, but also with all the modern features and everything. So like I said, I was super excited when I saw those guns.
That's fantastic. Let's touch on the Mark V. You guys mentioned the Mark V earlier when we started.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's our flagship product, you know, since 1958. Now it's made here in Sheridan, Wyoming. And so obviously, you know, the price point on it, you know, I mean, it starts, you know, retail around $1,500 and then it just climbs from there on up, you know, where we got everywhere from there to custom rifles. But obviously just that action with the 9 locking lugs or 6 locking lugs, a shorter bolt throw. My grandpa really designed it to be the world's strongest action. It's not the easiest to make and it's not the cheapest to make.
Yeah.
It's very different. It's very unique. It's got a lot of cool features. We now, you know, put the Trigger Tech trigger on it and a lot of those kind of things as well. Yeah, you bet. And so like this rifle Raleigh's got here is a new one we came out with that's more on the entry level for Mark V.
Yeah.
Where it starts, what's the retail on that? I don't know prices. That guy's Raleigh. Like the price change.
Yeah, it's $1649 on this one.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's aggressive for that gun.
Yeah.
One of the things we've done, just like my grandpa partnered with people, he partnered with quote influencers before that term was really around when he was out there in California.
Yeah.
We do the same now, and this last year, Remy Warren really joined our team. We're partnering with him, and Remy and Live Wild have been just putting out a lot of awesome content for a lot of years. Authentic, you know, Western-based hunter, much like we are. In fact, I'm hunting with him in a few weeks. And this rifle is the Mark V Live Wild that we developed along with Remy. Spiral fluted barrel and bolt, kind of cool, a new bolt knob that we have. Two-tone Cerakote on the bolt in the action. It's kind of a gray and black look to it.
Yeah.
But it's at that 1649, so you can get into, say, a 257 Weatherby or 300 Weatherby or whatever you want in the Mark V, custom floor plate.
Spiral fluted.
And so we tried to get it in at that price point. Now, it's not going to weigh what a backcountry is. It doesn't have that Peak 44 carbon fiber stock.
Right.
But it's something where somebody wants to get into that classic Mark V with a lot of modern features, designed with Remy and Weatherby together. So it's called the Live Wild, which is really Remy's brand, what he's named it. So
right.
Live Wild. And we're excited about that. So that's one of the new things we got.
Another cool thing about this gun is if they wanted to get into a Mark V and eventually upgrade into a Peak 44 carbon fiber stock, they could order the stock online and drop it right onto this gun and have essentially a custom Mark V backcountry.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Saving some money up for a stock and wants the total package, she could have it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And those Peak 44 stocks, you guys are involved with that right there in Sheridan, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they're built right here in Sheridan. And so, you know, there's 2 models right now, the Peak 44 Blacktooth weighing maximum of 20 ounces, which is on like our backcountry series, and then the Bastion, which weighs 24 ounces. So it's really the lightest, strongest stock on the market, made here in Sheridan, Wyoming, with a really partnership between Weatherby and Peak 44. So we think they're the best stocks that are out there on the market. We have yet to get one cracked, one back, and we're putting it in 300 Weatherby mag. Guys are firing thousands of rounds through it, and you know, it holds up to it with that lightweight thing to it too, which is pretty cool. One thing too, I think on the 307, we did partner outside of Peak 44 with MDT with their Hunt 26 chassis, which we had
Oh,
before in the
cool.
steel barrel with the folding carbon fiber chassis with magnesium. We now have it in the carbon fiber barrel. So this would be the top tier price point wise for a 307 right now, but especially those guys who want the shorter package to go out in the field with, want to fold the stock down. It's the 307 MDT carbon. Like I had a guy yesterday, a buddy of mine here from Wyoming, and he called, going on a moose hunt, but I'm going to be backpacking around. Man, I saw this new gun. So he's getting a 300 Weatherby. It's got 24-inch barrel on it with the folding stock because he wants that compactability, but he wants that 300 for his moose hunt in Alaska. So it's a great gun for a lot of different things. So this is brand new too, last month in May. So we were visiting you guys. It was the Alpine CT we talked about, which is more in that $21.99 price point. And then the MDT carbon is at the top tier, MSRP at $34.99. Because that stock's not cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, that stock's expensive.
$1,700 by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
But like you said, there's people that it's purpose driven. I mean, if somebody wants that long range ballistic advantage of a longer barrel, but wants to pack around a short, it just makes sense.
And we have the entry level for the 307 is our Range XP, which has all the same features. Just the stock is an injection molded stock, but with adjustability on the comb and the length of pull that we designed specifically for the Range XP. And that one starts $10.99 or $11.99, right? $11.99 for the Range XP. So you can get into the 307. And we actually have builder's actions we're doing in it too for $749.
Correct.
Man, you're getting better. You're getting better.
MSRP is $749.
It is now.
A US built kind of 700 action and all those different things. And so we start really where you can get your action. You get one with more of an entry level stock, our Peak 44 stock, wood stock, all the way up to the MDT carbon. So we've only had the product out for a year, the action, and now it's available in a whole lot of different things.
That's really smart though, because there's so many people that get sideways about having to buy something and only to get rid of the stock day one. You know, there's a certain stock that they want. And so being able to have that's really smart to do it that way.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So let's get into let's switch categories slightly. What about the Sorix? This is a new shotgun for you guys.
Yeah,
this one's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I like sunglasses, shoes, and shotguns. They're kind of my three things that I don't mind spending a few bucks on. So yeah, this is I'm kind of interested to hear more about this.
You know, with the Sorix, it's Italian built, and yet we do the finished work here in Sheridan. And so like this stock is custom painted here in Sheridan, for instance. So it's all Italy and Wyoming basically in one package.
Oh,
here.
Cool. That's really cool.
We tried to take kind of a premium waterfowl shotgun and go from the ground up. We built it initially off our inertia platform on our old 18i shotgun, but we actually fully reshaped the receiver where there's a more custom competition cut on the bottom. So as far as getting your gloves and different things in there. So as far as loadability, pretty aggressive cut on the bottom, which is cool. Larger button, larger handle, just more aggressive lines. And one of the unique features to it is you can actually pull the bolt handle off of the right side and you can put it in the left side.
Wow.
And you can also reverse the safety as well. Which is a little bit, takes another couple minutes, but you can reverse the safety and you can have the bolt on the left side. It's still going to eject out the right, but for those lefties, it's a somewhat ambidextrous design that's, fairly, nobody else is really doing that at all.
Right, it gets that bolt out of their face. So
So it's not
right.
It flies by so fast that they don't notice it.
Yeah.
To have that bolt, instead of it just coming right back into your face, it's over on the far side. It's really pretty unique.
And we took...
it's also drilled and tapped with 870 mounts, which is super handy.
Right.
If you want to put an optic on it.
And we did a stepped rib on this as well. Cryo Plus choke on the end of it, and the mag tube is compatible to put extensions on it and all those kind of things as well, compatible with a lot of the other Italian things that are out there.
Yeah.
So and we have they're all Cerakoted, every single one of them. Yep. We actually have 3 colors right now. like this one's a black and gray, again, hand painted back here in Wyoming, where we do a lot of our Peak 44 stocks.
Yeah.
What's this one called?
That is the Sorix Storm.
And then we got more.
This is the Midnight Marsh. It's a black base with tan and brown sponge paint on it.
That's
so again,
cool.
Each one of these stocks is a little bit different than.
We have another one that's blue. So we have 3 different color patterns.
I love that camo, by the way. That camo is really cool on the black gun. That's awesome.
Yeah, we thought it would be a little bit different than everybody else on the shelf. It just pops being painted instead of dipped. We may come out with dipped guns down the road, but
that's cool too. I love the color of that. I like the.
That it's unique.
I love the gray. The gray gun is sharp. They're both sharp. I mean, they both look good.
Yeah, they are.
My birthday's tomorrow, Adam. Just so you know, you know you. I'm teasing, bro.
And we have your FFL on file.
Okay,
Right,
man.
right.
You know, listen.
Right. I'll give you his credit card number later.
It's all good.
Our slogan for our shotguns is endurance tested, field proven. And before we launched this, I think we took it to 8 different states, including Canada as well.
Yeah.
And Alaska and Wyoming and Colorado and down to Arkansas and all over the place to really test it and make sure that it endured through everything. Spring rates for cycling, can go from the lightest loads to the heavy. We do have them in 3 and 3.5 inch, both. So you can get a 3 or 3.5 inch gun.
12 and 20 or
for 12 gauge and then
for 12.
Okay, yeah.
20 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
20, in 20, and then in 12 you can get a 3.5.
3.5. Yeah.
And the MSRP on this, Raleigh?
$14.99.
Oh wow, that's a great price point.
So we think we're coming in for. It built it in Italy and finished in Wyoming, and with all those brand new features on it, we
Is this your
feel it's in.
Is this your first? I don't know. Is this your first sort of collaboration with Italy on a project like this? You built there before?
No, we've been working with the same supplier over here. We had our 18i, which we had waterfowl models in, and we've now phased really our kind of waterfowl game into the Sorix.
Yeah.
We still do the 18i Deluxe and the Limited, which are real high-end wood semi-autos.
Yeah.
Like that Limited one we did. It's gold and silver, and it's really beautiful. So we're doing some real high-end semi-autos as well. That's in the 18i platform. But then our waterfowl, we transitioned here into the Sorix.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I love it. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Over in Italy, they just have so much access to so many folks in the shotgun game that are from high-end engraving to coatings to all the different things. And so so the quality of them are absolutely phenomenal. And, we've been funny. People think of us as a rifle company. We sell a lot of shotguns every year, and we've been for over 50 years. So we're not new to the game.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Rob, there's probably not a CEO in the outdoor industry that field tests or guns as much as Adam does. So, Adam, tell us what.
I was going to get to that, but I'll see where you're going because I have questions.
Tell us what are you shooting right now? What are you loving? What cartridge are you and what bullet are you out there? Well, what's the current hotness in Adam's gun case?
First of all, prelude to that question is if you're not following Adam on Instagram, it's Adam Weatherby at Adam Weatherby, and it's the most interesting Instagram. If you like hunting and outdoors, it's pretty legit. So, and that leads into Jason's question. What are you after out there?
It's I know I have good salespeople like Raleigh back here, and we got good marketing and good manufacturing, and I know that my name's on the gun in the side of the building, and that I need to be an avid user of the product. It's helpful, sure, in marketing. It's helpful in testing. There's times where I go out in the field and come back and literally say, guys, we need to change something. So I want to authentically. It's not just a business to me. It's our lifestyle. It's our brand. It's our family. So it is really important. I do love to hunt too, so it does come in handy. That's part of my job. So
well, also you cracked the code again. Back to your Instagram, your wife is with you on 50%, if not more, of these hunts. So that's maybe where a lot of guys are missing out, where they can't go hunting. You bring the wife along, and suddenly you start hunting more. Apparently,
well, the rumor is that she's a much better hunter than him, anyway.
Well, yeah, I was going to say all these pictures. I'm actually I got you dialed up right here. I'm looking at a few of them, and they're all lovely. Great places, beautiful shots with you guys and landscapes. But there's got to be an element of competition out there when you guys go. Am I right?
Yeah, it's I got her into hunting, and now she's my best hunting buddy, and so we have a good time. we kind of have it dialed down in a team, and when we're hunting or even hunting the same species, it just kind of works. And if things are rushed or far, I usually take it. If it's great and a great setup, she likes to, like maybe a lot of lady hunters, she likes, I'm going to take my time. I want it to be right. And
Right.
she just happens to make phenomenal shots as a result every time. I
Yeah.
probably botch far more than she does. So when it comes to good, clean shots, she's really good at it.
That's awesome.
In the end, I might beat her in inches in the end, just a little bit. But she'll hang with me. I mean, we'll do a 7-day or longer hunt into the backcountry, everything on our back, and she's not afraid to do it. We got a couple years left in our 40s. I think as we switch into our 50s, we're talking about maybe a little less miles.
Yeah, right.
Hard and long days. So,
little less steep, a little flatter. Yeah.
Yeah, we just got back from even this year already did she was with me both in Africa and in New Zealand, kind of two separate, really, really separate hunts. Africa much flatter. New Zealand was straight up and down, testing out a lot of product together. And she was on some crazy terrain. She made a shot on this chamois way up in there. It was awesome. She got a fallow deer, all free range. We got dropped off in a helicopter in their public land. It was amazing.
Wow.
Super, super fun. So, coming back to your question, Jason, and then I'm dialing in a rifle for a few weeks from now to go hunting with Remy. That's a new model. So most of the models I use aren't out yet. But that's half the fun is I'm trying to out there both get content and test it, last minute, which is fun. But the Alpine CT, definitely been using that a little bit recently. When we were in there in New Zealand, we had one in the 7 PRC. I had a 6.5 RPM in a Mark V backcountry setup, for kind of some of the lightweight stuff down there, which is really cool. Been using a lot of hammer bullets as of late. They've just been deadly accurate. Been killing a lot of stuff with that. I shot a sable in Africa with the 300 Weatherby in that model 307 Adventure SD, that wood model, that real pretty one. Just kind of took it from my grandpa, and shot a sable across a lake, and it was 500 yards. And I'd watched them graze forever, and there's no way to get around this lake. It had been open, and there's just no way to stalk unless I was going to go underwater or something with my wood gun to get closer. And shot this sable at 500 yards with the 195 hammer and the 300 Weatherby with that Adventure SD model. And it literally hit the deck and didn't move. And I thought I'd spined it and hit it high. Because if you hard shot, what do? Run 20, 30, 40 yards and then fall over dead every time. And we got up to it. And I thought, God, how did I mess up my ballistics? I was so dialed in with it. It was a perfect heart shot. We took out the heart. It went right through it. And yet at 500 yards, a big sable, a huge old bull, didn't take a step. It was amazing. The devastation with
impressive.
With the combination of the 300 Weatherby with the 195 hammer. So that was probably my favorite kill shot of the year this year.
Yeah. Cool.
I thought I made a bad shot because it died too quick. And it wasn't. So that was
And you guys have some exclusive hammer bullets in some of your factory loads as well. Is that correct?
We do.
We do. They make, depending on our, really for our Weatherby calibers, they make a bullet and grain weight specifically to behave and perform well in that cartridge. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So, and
performance on them is just amazing across the board. Accuracy wise, we have a lot of good ammo, different SKUs. I think we have 81 different ammo SKUs. But when we go for accuracy in the shop, it tends to be with the hammers. They're
really
hand-laid custom bullets, and it's amazing what they do.
Now, Raleigh, there's a rumor going around here that you're a big fan of the 240 Weatherby.
Oh, I heard you mention it earlier, and I love it. I actually just drew an antelope tag out here, and I have a 257, but that I've been wanting to shoot, but I'm pretty tempted to take a 240 out this year because it's just so fast, so flat. It's moving about 3,700 feet per second.
Wow.
Yeah.
Depending on the load, but it's zero recoil. We had a couple of girls here yesterday actually for just a tour and shoot one of our good dealers, and they shot a 240 and fell in love with it. It's just a fun round. It's lightning fast, awesome for whitetail, mule deer. So it's definitely one to check out. It's like it's like a 243 on some serious steroids. Like most Weatherby cartridges are.
Right. And now you can have it in a carbon fiber barrel stocked gun, right?
That's right.
There you go.
Pretty cool.
Well, guys, go ahead.
I was going to say, our draw results came out in Wyoming today. So when you show up to the office and you're in Wyoming, it's the first 2 hours of the day. I think I just paid 140 people here in Sheridan to talk about their draw results. Production wasn't good up until about 9 or 10, and then they got it on.
Literally Christmas in June. Huh?
Yeah. That's awesome.
I was going to mention really quick, Adam kind of spoiled it, but the sable hunt and the Africa hunt is on our YouTube series. It's called The Bush Provides, and it's just an amazing video that Adam and Luke Thorkeldson and Brenda put together. So definitely go check that out. But it tells a lot about more than just hunting in Africa, but what the hunting did for the community. Very cool to see.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
for
sure.
Combination between a missions hunt. We went into some villages, did not only meat distribution, but taught leaders. And I have a buddy over there who started, he's a PH now, and 40% of the safari goes to his missions organization. It's a Christian-based missions organization. So it's a film on hunting and missions in Africa. It's a very unique kind of thing. But it's one of the things about being third-generation family-owned. It's like a big part of, when we hunt, we do everything. We love to geek out on our products, but even like relationships with you guys and having conversation, dinner a few weeks ago, it's all those kind of things are important to us too, and we can't lose sight of that. So
yeah, that's fantastic.
Well, unlike most companies in this industry, there's always a constant at Weatherby, and that's a Weatherby, and that's pretty cool for that long of a span. There's really no other companies I can think of who can say that.
Yeah.
And so
not just to be relevant or known, but just to continue to excel like you guys have
and grow it.
Yeah.
So, it's
awesome.
really it's been cool. My 26 years here, we've sold a lot of Weatherbys. I can remember selling a lot of Weatherby Vanguards back in the day. But no, it's been really cool. It's exciting. I know they've got some more cool stuff coming out. It's heck, you're talking about draws. I mean, really, because down here we don't think about hunting season really until October, November-ish. But for you guys, it's just right around the corner. So for anybody who's out there listening, who did happen to draw their Weatherby tag today, and you don't have a rifle and your gun's set up, this is the time to go get that thing and get it worked up now. Don't wait till the last minute. And I'm telling you, Weatherby has something for everybody, whether you're going out and shooting smaller game all the way up to the biggest game in the world. They got a cartridge and a rifle, whether you want to go retro, classic, the most modern, or anything in between. They really have something for everybody. So go check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can find Weatherby at Weatherby Inc. On all the social medias, I think. And then Adam's got his own account as well at Adam Weatherby. And hats off to your photographer and editing crew too. My gosh, man, those guys are some of these photos are just sick. I mean, it's really, really cool. Yeah. So definitely you want to check those guys out. And the YouTube channel, I guess, Weatherby Inc. too, I think. You guys, I think, are Weatherby Inc. across the board. Yeah, so not too hard to find anyways. But anything else, guys? You good? Anything else you wanted to hit? Or
we're sitting in our On Our Mark podcast room. We also have a podcast that we deep dive into all different hunting caliber selections, you name it. We talk to biologists, just a wide variety.
It's the second best outdoor podcast out there next to the LIPSEY'S one.
Yeah. Well, we're trying.
Spoken like a real vendor.
We're trying. We're trying to work out a little something over here. So we're hoping maybe by hunting season we'll have a slightly different look. So we're shooting for that. We'll see. But, well, hey, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Adam, Raleigh, really, thanks for your time today. And, folks, you know where to find us at LIPSEY'S Gun, all the social medias. And until next time, Jason?
Aim higher.
Aim higher.